There is something that has gone and is legitimately lost, and that is your freedom as an individual human being to be free, to do your own thinking, to be your own person. That is lost. You have been taken over and you don't even know it. And he said that the reason why? Cause and effect. The people who are behind the scenes of government in this country, their greatest enemy is you.
Don't know what you're doing, don't know what you're thinking. Stick to watching TV, then they'll just ignore you, leave you alone.
I think at one time or another we've all questioned as to whether all that we see and are experiencing in our world has some sort of a rational plan behind it. Because we understand now that both the Republican and the Democratic Party in our country are basically run by the same people. The same money finances both sides. We now know, of course, through the work of many historians who have spent their life working on research that show us that both sides of world conflicts have always been financed by the same people.
Question what you see, it's not reality. Question what you see and what you're told. You're dumbed down by TV, so full of apathy. Question everything and use your mind. Question what you see, it's not reality. Question what you see and what you're told. You're dumbed down by TV and full of apathy. Question everything and use your mind.
To do your own thinking, to be your own person, that is lost. You have been taken over and you don't even know it. And he said that the reason why is because you don't read, you don't think, you want to be entertained by Bugs Bunny, Big Top Pee-wee. All you want is your recapable tires, like he says, and all of your creature comforts, and you don't want to put yourself out, and so consequently, you have not defended your freedoms, and if you don't defend your freedoms and your rights, you don't have it. That's correct. Cause and effect. Cause and effect.
Worldwide fraternal organization that is powerful enough, old enough, and wise enough to operate behind all governments in the world, behind fraternal institutions, monetary systems in the world, and yes, they are in fact connected.
Welcome to episode number 10, The Echo. My name is Kumar Skiani. I'm your host tonight. As usual, a very, very informative scholar. Derek is here with me tonight. How are you doing, Derek?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, Q.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming to my show. We have a wonderful show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are going to talk about SB 510, that piece of legislation that actually Jennifer, who comes on my show, she was the discoverer of this fact that the lobbyists in Washington, D.C. are pushing for this bill because then that legislation prevents you of growing produce in your own backyard, in your garden. And technically, it's not only the small businesses would suffer, but also you and your grandma cannot grow apple to make the apple pie, and especially you cannot give that apple pie to your neighbor. If you do that, it is very possible that number one, you would be fine. Number two, you might even go to jail. So this is a very bizarre situation, and I never heard of it anywhere before. I was born in a country that later on turned to a real dictatorship, Iran, and I lived for so many years over there, and even under that form of dictatorship, I never heard anything like that. And we want to find out why this is happening here in the land of free and home of brave, in the United States of America. Why this is happening here. In order to do that, I wanted to show you a clip of actually a business owner who owns and operates an organic store in California. He probably had some raw milk. He probably sold some raw milk over there. We are not sure what exactly happened, but take a look at the way that the police actually reacted to it. It was just like a
ski masks and machine guns.
Exactly. It's even worse than that. You would be surprised, because it looked like movies, like
like a drug bust.
Exactly, drug bust.
The milk mafia.
Yeah, milk mafia, raw milk mafia. I don't know if the clip is ready or not. Sam, if it is ready, please roll the clip for us.
Hey, ring the alarm. Hey, whoa. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, some sound like a big jump on. Listen to sound, it's a champion. Rock the dance in any session. Rock up the woman and rock up the man. Ring the alarm, another sound is dying. Whoa, hey, ring the alarm, another sound is dying. Whoa, hey.
The health code basically has been written to prohibit the sale of all kinds of things. You can't sell fresh juices any longer. I mean, they've gotten so involved in this ridiculous stuff that now the real question should be posed. And I was on KFI radio the other day, and basically the question to be posed is, who is behind it ultimately, and what is the purpose? And these are the kind of questions that need to be posed, because it's not what one club was being rated compared to another one. We have what's called a digital laser-guided temperature gun here that actually looks somewhat like a gun. My question, which I have not posed to anybody, is, let's just say somebody had walked out one of our small walk-ins with that, faced at one of these guys with a gun drawn. Maybe, just maybe, the other person would have pulled the trigger. These foods that have now been made illegal, raw goat milk, raw juice, raw anything. I mean, especially raw products. I mean, you can't go to the Whole Foods and the
You could call it a case of milking authority way too far. Citizens in the Southern California town of Venice are outraged following a police raid on a raw food store, all over a few bottles of milk. Could this be a sign that police are squeezing too tightly? Well, joining me now with more from our Los Angeles studio is George Heminger. He's the founder of Survive and Thrive TV. So, George, what the heck is going on over there? Do police have nothing better to do in L.A. than raid organic food stores?
Well, the Los Angeles Times broke this story, and what's shocking about this story is that police officers are going into this grocery store. It's a co-op organic raw food store, guns drawn. And we put this up on Survive and Thrive TV, and it's basically created a firestorm on the internet. People are really, really shocked that the police and the district attorney don't have anything better to do but to harass local cooperatives, engaging in sharing food.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty shocking.
Our viewers are getting a chance to kind of see that video right now, and it is pretty shocking stuff. I mean, you're seeing the police here with their guns raised like they're about to, raid some sort of drug house or something like that. I've heard of fights over a lot of things in the past year. We talk about immigration, healthcare, the war in Afghanistan. But tell me about this battle over organic foods that's brewing. I mean, why are people getting so fired up about this?
Well, what's happening in this country is big agricultural business, large corporations see these co-ops as a threat. They control a majority of the food that's produced in America, and they've hijacked the FDA and government regulatory agencies. If you think about it, these private individuals that go out and own a piece of a farm or own a cow and then share in that production of that is a threat to the market share of these corporations. They don't fit into the corporate model. Therefore, they must be destroyed, apparently.
And let's go back to that video that we were just talking about and we all got a chance to look at. Seems here that, the police are using a little bit of excessive force, and that's a topic that we've covered pretty frequently here on RT. But tell me why it's necessary for the police to swarm in with guns for an assignment like this. And, I also want to point out that this isn't the first time the LAPD have made headlines for doing something dramatic. I mean, why is that? Can you talk a little bit more about their reputation and why incidents like this seem to repeatedly happen?
Sure. I mean, what's involved here is more intimidation tactics by the police. That's what I believe. It wasn't necessary to go in here, guns drawn. I mean, this is a regulatory event. This isn't something where you need to be pointing guns at people. I spoke with the owner of Rawsome, and he was really shocked when he first saw this footage. In fact, a lot of people online are thinking this is a burglary or some other type of event. They don't even believe that it's an actual, the situation that presented itself in the Los Angeles Times. And the owner of Rawsome mentioned to me that in that store they have thermal laser guns that they use to take temperature gauges of the food. What happens if a worker there came out with one of their laser temperature guns when that police officer had his gun drawn like that? We're talking about a major incident. Right now, the police department, the district attorney, is having a major blowback just because of this video that's going viral on the internet.
Right. I guess they're kind of lucky in a way that it didn't get to kind of a worse or more escalated situation there. Now, George, I got a chance to check out your website. It was pretty cool. Tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself. I know you kind of, quote-unquote, opted out of the traditional American lifestyle back in 2008. Why did you do that? And, I've met a number of people like you who have done the same thing. Some call themselves preppers, others call themselves survivalists. When you see incidents like this one that happened in LA, does it reconfirm to you that you made the right choice to kind of abandon mainstream America?
Well, mainstream America won't be able to continue to operate the way we're going. I mean, once again, the big corporations have control of the regulatory agencies, and they want people to fit in this corporate model where they can be regulated and controlled and taxed. And the biggest threat that the government and these big corporations have to them are people getting together locally to share food, share resources, and that's what I try to promote on Survive and Thrive TV. That's what's so shocking about what the kind of the crackdown on this type of behavior is. This type of behavior of sharing food and getting back to natural, unprocessed food needs to happen. Because, I mean, as we're saying,
I think that what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and unfortunately we're out of time right now, but it's very great, and that you were able to get your hands on